I currently have my son with me here at Aldi's. I'm trying not to film the people here, but we're actually going to pick up some of those broccoli crowns. They have the 16-ounce package, I guess, for $1.49. And I'm buying it because, I don't know if you remember my episode where we tried to make the Thai Gueytew Radna, which is noodle over face. And it was kind of a disaster, but it still tasted great. So this time I'm going to try to make it again, but this time I'm using fresh ingredients. So we're going to use this. I'm debating if I want to get some cucumbers. I might get 1 or 2 cucumbers for fried rice or something tomorrow. So I think I'll do that. It's 49 cents each, so I think I'm only going to get 1 because a lot of people don't eat that stuff. I'm looking to see if I want mushrooms. I think it's, I don't know if it's 2 or 149. I think we'll go with a couple, we'll go with 1 cucumber. Okay, was looking around at several other items to pick up. You see, something you need to know about Aldi's. They don't have bags and stuff, so you gotta like bring your own boxes or bags to carry. Or, in our case, we just grabbed one of these existing boxes that they have and just use it to carry because my son and I aren't buying that much. We're just gonna buy a couple items. Basically, we're gonna have a movie night, so we're gonna have a bag of chips, some cheese. What's that stuff called? Mac and cheese. It's 33 cents. And what is that? Broccoli? My brain is dead. My memory's gone. Anyhow, we're gonna look for a couple more items and see if we can't. Our fake spam. Think we should get one? All right, we're gonna get one. All right, so we'll get. That's our little luxury here. Is the fake spam, not the real one. All right. About a week or 2 ago, I tried to make a popular Thai dish called Gueytew Radna, which means literally noodle over face. But I kind of botched up the sauce, the gravy that goes on it. So we're going to try to do it again, and this time we're changing some of the things up a little bit. I did get some flour that I'm going to be using for the gravy itself, and a little bit of sugar to sweeten it up, which is, I recall when I ate it the way my mom made it, it would taste a little bit sweet, so we're going to use a little bit of sugar. I don't have any body, so I'm using this Dollar Tree salt-free seasoning. And this is just regular water I have in here. Once again, we're going to try to do it again with the bow ties. And this time, the plan is going to be almost the same thing. I've got some pork here that I'm going to be slicing up into little strips and stir-frying. I do have fresh broccoli here that I'll be slicing into bite-sized slices and setting those aside. So we're going to prepare all this stuff while the meat is cooking. Actually, I'm going to prepare the veggies first and then prepare the meat, because that way I can just use the same knife. And we're going to stir-fry the meat. And then while that is all cooking up, we're also going to have the noodles boiling up. So that's going to be the plan. Alright, I actually have my son holding the camera today. So I got a little chef's assistant here. And the first thing we're going to do is simply just slice up the broccoli here into serving sizes. I've already washed them, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is just cut it up so that we can, eat the stuff inside the Radna. And last time I just said it was called Radna. The real word for it, the real name, is actually Gueytew Radna, which is noodles over face. So, okay, so I've cut these up to roughly bite-sized pieces, and I'm going to set them aside over here to be used later. And we're going to do some more. We're going to do some more here. I like the stalks. Some people may not like them, but I like them because they're kind of crunchy. And I think they make the food taste better. So this is for Gueytew Radna. And we're just taking the broccoli here. We're gonna cut all this stuff, and then I'll continue. So I'm gonna. All right, I have some camera issues because my son doesn't know when to stop the camera. So what we're going to try to do is this. Obviously, I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me for 20 minutes cutting things up. So we're going to go ahead and pause the camera and then resume after I finish cutting all this. But what you're seeing me do is basically cut everything into little pieces so that we can have it ready to put into the sauce when we're ready to cook it all up. All right, as you can see, I've got the pork here out from the packet. And what we're going to do now is just slice the pork and have it ready to go. So I'm washing it again, even though I think it was already pre-washed. But we're going to wash all this pork just so we'll have it, you know, just an extra layer of cleanliness. And I'm going to go ahead and do it all because I think I'm going to make extra. I'm going to save this so I can have it like tomorrow or another day or something. Or I may save the pork, you know, if I don't use it all. Oh, you can see the little Robo-Whisk here. You see how the Robo-Whisk works? We're going to be using that later over here when we make our gravy. But for now, just leave it out of the way. So let's go ahead and cut up the pork at this point. We'll have it ready for stir frying. This is just pork chops. I am going to leave the fat on there because I do kind of like fat. And I think it gives it a little bit more flavor. So we're just cutting little strips like we do when we make our stir fry. So I'm basically using pork chops as the meat for this dish. So this is going to be pork Radna. So you'll see I'll go ahead and cut them all up, and once I have it, we'll go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
Alright, as you can see, I've pretty much cut up most of the pork, and we're going to go ahead and finish this up in a minute. Then I'll start to fry it, and see what happens. Alright, I finished cutting up the meat at this point, and what we're going to do now is start cooking it up. So I'm going to turn the heat on for the stove here, and I got this pan here that we're going to stir fry the pork. And meanwhile, we'll turn this other one on here to get the water boiling. And we're going to put in the bow ties there to get that cooking up while we're cooking up the meat. Alright, it is burning up stuff that's under there, but what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of oil on this again. Used up this whole bottle here. There's not much left. So I've got a second bottle that I just bought today. And we're just going to use this. It is canola oil here from Great Value. You can't see it here, but canola. And I'm put in a little bit, not too much, but enough to coat the entire bottom because we're going to be putting the meat in there and all the other ingredients to stir fry it very quickly here in a minute. Just letting everything heat up, and we're going to coat the bottom, and then I'll pour the meat in there and get us going. Alright, I've got the meat here all chopped up, and we're just going to throw in some minced onions here from Walmart. You can see I love onions. And we're going to take some of this salt-free seasoning. I guess we could add salt for even more flavoring, but I think the soy sauce will have plenty of salt. So the seasoning here, I normally would use body, which has a little bit of salt, so I might put a little salt in it. No, we'll skip the salt because the salt's already going to be in the soy sauce. It says this is made out of cornmeal, oat bran, onion, spices, garlic, carrots, orange peel, tomato, parsley, citric acid, and natural lemon oil. So I had turned off the heat here, but we're going to turn it back on because it was getting really hot really fast. And I'll be pouring the meat in here, and then we'll go ahead and fry it up and take a look at it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pour the meat into the frying pan here. And you can hear it sizzling. Doesn't it sound good? Nothing like the sound of meat frying up. So that is going to fry up. And find a spatula here. I'm going to stir it up. Grab this here. So you guys can see the food actually cooking here. Woo! Like oil is splattering everywhere, but we are going to fry up this meat and brown it and make sure that it really does get browned. And make sure that it is cooked. And while the meat is cooking up, I'm going to go ahead and do the bow tie noodles, because you can see the water starting to boil up. So we're going to do some bow tie noodles and boil that up. Alright, I'm going to add the bow ties. And I'm just simply pouring it in there. We're going to let it boil up. I think there's only a little bit left in the box, so I'm going to use the whole amount. There we go. It looks like that was enough. I might have to add a little bit of water, but we're going to let that boil up. Meanwhile, I do need to stir up this, the meat here, the pork. It is on it is on high heat. So, you want it to fully brown. Make sure the meat is fully cooked. Oh man, I forgot. I have these bones that I'm going to throw in there. Maybe I won't. I'll cook that up later. I try not to waste anything, and I do nibble on those little bones because they have a little bit of meat on them. Alright. I'll tell you what, it's starting to smell really good in here. So while that is browning, cooking up, we'll stir this a little bit and make sure it's all mixed up nice. Make sure the noodles get cooked. It says it's 6:56, so I'm going to let this boil for what, about 10 minutes or so. So it'll be 7:06 is about the time I need to remove it. Meanwhile, we'll let this fry up pretty much till that time. And while all the meat and all that stuff is still cooking up, what I plan on doing now is making the gravy. Remember, that's where we messed up last time? We're going to try to make gravy this time using this. The water. And I'm going to add some self-rising flour. And the soy sauce. And a little bit of sugar. So let's see what happens. Okay. Alright, I've turned off the heat on the meat and have stirred up the noodles, which I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit here because it's starting to boil up. But what we're going to do now is try to make our gravy. Unlike last time, I'm using cold water here, and I'm just going to try to mix this in using the Robo-Whisk. Already, it's looking better than last time. So I think I just need to add a little bit more. But I do want it kind of thick, but not too thick. It certainly looks better than last time, doesn't it? Last time we had all the little bumps and stuff in it, but this time it's mixing up really good. How much am I putting in? I don't know. I would say probably about a quarter of a cup to half a cup. I want it thick, but not super thick. And this Robo-Whisk handy, so I did get something nice out of Tesla, even though I'm no longer working there. This thing is actually pretty good for mixing things up. So let me just add a little bit more, and I think that's going to be about enough. So what we're going to do now is whisk all this up and mix it up. Last time we used chicken stock, but this time I'm just using water. Why? Because I want to see what the difference is and see if it still tastes good or bad or what. And you can see we've mixed it up. I think a couple of chunks isn't going to hurt. Even last time, even though we had the chunks, it wasn't bad. Now, what I'm going to add now is the soy sauce. And I think I used this much last time, so I'm going to use about the same amount. And it's giving it kind of a nice color and should make it taste a little bit salty. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. And that's looking pretty good. So we'll mix it all up. And of course, for a little bit more flavoring, I am going to put in some sugar. How much sugar? Not too much, but maybe, I would say about what, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, just to sweeten it up a little bit. And now, let's bring it here, follow me. We're going to turn the heat back up here. You can see the meat is pretty much browned. And we're just going to pour it in here. And I might have a little too much. It certainly looks different than last time, doesn't it? Maybe I need a little bit more soy sauce. I don't know. We're going to turn the heat up on high and let it heat back up. And what we're going to do next is drain the noodles and have those ready to go. So I'm going to let this boil up. It doesn't look as thick as I'd like, so maybe I'll add some of the cornstarch to thicken it up a little bit. But that means wetting the cornstarch, unlike last time tossing it in. So I think that's what we're going to do. Alright, I am going to use the same cornstarch as before to help thicken it up a little bit, unlike last time. So what I'm doing is I'm making a mix right now of the cornstarch with the water here. A little bit of water and quite a bit of cornstarch. But I'm trying to mix it up. And the water is cold. So I'm going to add this to the gravy to try to thicken it up a little bit. Hopefully it'll thicken it up a little bit. I'm using quite a bit because the gravy there did not look thick at all, the gravy that we made previously. I think I'm using the whole can here. Let's go ahead and use the whole can. Woo! So how much do we use? Probably about half a can here. So we're going to mix this up. And stir it up some more. Mix it up some more. And come on over. And we're going to pour it in. And basically pour it in to thicken this up. I'm going to stir it all up. And now we have our sauce, which is kind of messed up. But everything is an experiment, right? So at this point, got it on high. It is heating up. I have added the, it does feel like it's getting a little bit thick in there, so I want to keep stirring it. Oh, I don't know if it's the cornstarch is clumping up. It's not mixing with the others right away. See that? It's clumping up. So and it does not look as brown as it did last time, so I might need a little bit more soy sauce. I don't know, I think I'm going to add just a little bit more soy sauce. Might help to open it. But and we're going to stir that all up. Give it more of a brown color. And it is clumping up, so I'm going to turn the heat off. I think the heat is helping it to react. I wonder if I use too much. It's getting a little thick again. I think we're going to have another disaster. This will be even worse than last time. So what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to throw in the veggies here. I'll start throwing these in there and just mixing it up. That's what we're going to do. Alright, it's looking really thick. Maybe a little too thick. Maybe I didn't need the cornstarch because the thing might have been thickening on its own. And I'm not even going to bother frying the noodles. So what we're going to do is we're just going to drain all of this. I'm going to drain the noodles out. And then try to, maybe I'll drain it out and then fry it real quick in there. Add a little bit of oil and just heat it up. And we'll try putting this on there and see how it tastes. So wish me luck. Honestly, I think it looked better last time with the mess up than what I'm doing now, trying to do it right. Because evidently, I still didn't do it right. Alright, I'm trying to fry up the noodles here. So I'm going to add a little bit of oil just to help it not stick. And we're going to stir it all up. And ask my son to film here while I stir this up. But the idea is to just... I turned the heat off because it was on and it was hot, and I've swapped the two... the frying pan and this pot here. So I'm just going to let this stay and cool down. The heat is off, so everything's off everywhere. You can look right now at our the Radna sauce or whatever. So I think it's about ready to be served. So stand by. Wish us luck. All right, once again, just like last time, I'm going to serve it with the Mount Olive jalapeno slices. You can see the gravy is actually very thick. And I'm actually not quite sure yet. I haven't done a taste test on it yet. But we're going to put some jalapeno slices here right on it to serve. Just like last time. And maybe even put a little bit of the dill sauce. You know, the drippings here. Because the drippings kind of taste good too. Just a little bit, not too much, because it'll give it that tang. So I'm going to put a little bit more because I do like the peppers. And I'm actually kind of salivating, believe it or not. I'm kind of hungry. So this is what it looks like right now. And I'd say it's not that bad looking, but this is a dish I'm still going to have to work on. Maybe I need to look at the real recipe. But let's try doing a taste test and see what it tastes like before I pass judgment. So here we go. Here goes nothing. I think I'm going to take a piece of pork too. Let's see. This looks like a nice big piece of pork. And here comes our taste test. I'm going to say that it actually tastes quite a bit different than the last time. But it's actually good. So I do like it. I don't know if I needed the to add the cornstarch that I added, because I think it made it a little too thick. Or it started thickening, you know, when I boiled it. So I probably won't add as much, because the liquid should be a little bit more runny than this, but not super runny. But overall, I'd say it's not a bad interpretation of Gueytew Radna, you know, Denoy style, which is basically made haphazardly. It's good. I don't know about how it looks, but as far as taste-wise, I give it about a 9, believe it or not. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope that if you guys feel of interest or try a dish like this, or feel free to experiment on your own dishes, because there's some fun in just cooking up your own concoctions. Take care, everybody. Bon appetit. Alright, after seeing how thick the sauce was, I decided to heat up the sauce again. I mean, my son and I ate it thick like that, but I decided to come back here and heat it back up and add quite a bit more water. And you can see, now it's looking correct. So, even though it was a little too thick before, when I added more water, the sauce now has the correct consistency. It's like kind of a runny gravy, not a thick chunky one like before. So this is a way to fix it. Add more water.